following is a production of Locked Up Sports.
Hi, everyone. This is ESPN alum Bob Picozzi, and you are locked in to Locked Up Sports.
Can't wait.
When it comes to talking sports, they're the authority. It's Bob Walters and Brett Grasso. It's Locked Up Sports, and it starts now.
Bring them out, bring them out, hey. Bring them out, bring them out, yeah. Bring them out, bring them out, hey. Bring them out.
Here we go. Bob Walters, Brett Grasso, from the Brian Gunzel Studios. This is Locked Up Sports. Crucial Game 3 for the Knicks and Heat this afternoon. Rangers no-show Game 7. More questions than answers with both New York baseball teams, and Matt Harvey officially calls it a career. Brett, what is up? How are you doing? Welcome to the show.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Big Knicks Game 3 going on today, which we're
Knicks game.
We're recording right before there.
Right before the Knicks game. We got like an hour, right? We're cutting it close. Look,
yeah, this is nice.
We're cutting it close. Now, I think the Knicks got lucky, kind of, that Jimmy Butler did not play Game 2. They just squeaked out that win in Game 2, the Knicks. What they did, they squeaked it out. They got a lot of, they kind of remind you of the 90s series, because the Knicks kind of went out and got it with the rebounding, Hartenstein, Hart, Brunson. You know, they needed everything, but now
I didn't have much faith in them at one point. Like, you know, when going into the third quarter, I was like, I really didn't think they were going to hold them off.
Well, because what happened was they blew the lead, but they blew the lead in the third quarter. Then they came back and they played well in the fourth quarter. But listen, I mean, Hartenstein played great. He was grabbing rebounds. He was, if you look here, he's got 26 minutes, 3 points, 9 rebounds. 4 of them were offensive rebounds. Now today he comes back. He got a
huge pickup, big. Very important.
Out of nowhere, Hartenstein.
Really was. And honestly, what it does is it gives Mitchell Robinson that time on the bench, too, where you have that combo where at all times it's not like, oh, okay, Mitchell Robinson's out of the game or Hartenstein's out of the game and it's time for them where they can control the paint or get into, under control the boards. And the Knicks, with either one of those guys in at any time, one, they get the boards, they have decent offense, honestly. They can't shoot free throws, and that's been a little bit of an issue.
They can't shoot free throws. Now, I mean, is Randall going to be the key to this series? Is Randall the X factor, or is it Brunson, and is it Hart, or is it Hartenstein even?
It's Brunson. It's going to be Brunson, stepping up, deciding that he's the guy, and attacking the basket in that crunch time. Let me tell you, they looked like they couldn't figure out who wanted the ball at certain points. Brunson and Randall could not decide. They would not step up and take that shot. I'm not saying they didn't, but they were. And honestly, if it wasn't for Josh Hart coming up with a big three, huge three. Hart and
Brunson kind of. It's weird because Hart's only been on this team for like 20 games.
Yeah.
It feels like he's been here for years, and they're kind of like, they're just Knicks, Like, you see them two together in the press conference, they're Knicks. Like, they instantly became Knicks. And I think Brunson kind of has taken control of this team, and it's his team. He knows it's his team. It's the first time we've seen this in forever for the Knicks. That's why nobody recognizes it. That's why you're like, I don't know if it's going to be Randall or... It's Brunson. It's going to be Brunson's team.
It's got to be Brunson.
Now, what worries me is the Heat played a zone last game because they didn't have Butler playing defense. Now with Butler back, and the Knicks just scraped that game out. Let's be real. There was a chance, like you said, you were worried. Do they go back to the man, or maybe he's not 100% healthy. They don't want him chasing people around the floor, and they play with the zone because the zone is basically like they're daring the Knicks to shoot. And what happened was the Knicks, they were hesitant, but then they found their legs and they made their shots. And they squeaked by. I mean, listen, Eric Spoelstra is a wildly underrated coach. He doesn't get any credit for any of the championships that he won. Think of what he's done.
Well, did you see that he was named as the... What do you think? Who do you think a top all time? What do you think of Eric Spoelstra?
I would say he might be a top 10 coach.
He was named like NBA this year at All-Star Game. He was named top 15 coaches of all time.
Yeah, but you don't think of him like that.
No, not at all. And I actually had a debate. It was like a big debate at work over that, and they were like, "Are you kidding me? Like, is he even in the conversation?" And when you look at it, it's hard. I mean, there's a couple guys that it would be hard to leave him out to pop Spoelstra in. But
I think he's absolutely. You know what? He doesn't get the credit because he's got the great players.
After this series, I think I'm going to knock him down. It's not going to work out for him.
Hey, listen, this year, he's already cemented his Hall of Fame status. He's got multiple championships. He's won championships with LeBron. He's won. He went to the finals 2 years ago in the pandemic season.
So how many has he won without LeBron?
No, he hasn't won one without LeBron.
None. No,
But-
LeBronless.
Yeah, none without LeBron. Listen, this is
Nice.
the Knicks.
Yeah.
Here's what's got to happen.
Top 15.
The Knicks, they got to win one of these two games because I don't think the Knicks come back from down 3-1. I don't think they're built for that. I think they have to steal one of these two games, even it up. Miami went in. They stole game 1. They played with house money game 2.
This is the series. Today's game is the series.
No. Today or the night. They have to win one of the two. They don't have to win today. They could go down 2-1. They just got to steal one of these two games. They can't come back home down 3-1.
This is who wants to take control of this series. And I'm telling you, you win this game, you're going to win this series today.
And it's kind of like the 90s teams. Like you hate the Heat. Spolster, you're like, oh, he's not even that good. How'd he get top 15 coach?
I know. I just need, like, who's it going to be? You know, Tibbs isn't going to be, grabbing on to, like, Julius Randle's ankles. Like, who is it going to be? Is it going to be Spolstra?
Hartenstein makes a runner
And
like
Spolstra's just hanging on. Top 15 screaming.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad. He's top 15. He probably is top 15.
Not until you grab onto his leg. On my book.
I mean,
Jeff Van Gundy's squeaking out. Who's it's definitely Van Gundy and then Spolstra.
Van Gundy's going to be on the game, right? He's going to be calling the game probably, so he'll be there. Now, it's ridiculous that they waited the 3 days to play this game. Like,
I know.
What are they doing?
I
The
know.
NBA does not have to go into mid-June.
And the last thing you need is this whole Knicks squad having 3 days in South Beach this time of year. It's no. You think I'm joking? No athlete has ever went to South Beach and not went out all night.
Yeah, but then what about the team you're playing? What about the teams that
That's
are down
their
there?
home. That makes them feel comfortable. They go to the club, like they call the other guy at the club and they're like, don't let the Knicks in.
No, you want them in.
They
Let
have
the Knicks
control.
in.
No, they're like, no, let them in, but you screw them up. Whatever way that is, feed them drinks all night.
Women,
drugs,
whatever you got to do, right?
That's a long We're talking about ending the game. We're talking about,
Don't make them. Give them liver disease. Give them liver disease.
Yeah, this isn't about the decades long, Bob, of the Knicks messed up.
That's a very Lawrence Taylor move type of thing to do. I mean, he would send hookers
Yeah,
to the guys' rooms.
that's like whoever sent the Giants wide receivers on that boat. Same thing.
Listen, the Giants made a couple big signings. The Giants are slowly, under the radar with the Jets going. Giants are under the radar, going to be a good team this year. And they're talking about the Jets and Giants playing the first week of the season.
Yeah,
We were just talking.
I don't like that. That actually ruins it for me. Like, I want them to play.
There's so much.
I want them to play
much
like,
pressure on the Jets.
I'd rather the Jets to play at the Panthers or something.
There would be so much pressure on the Jets to win that game. So much pressure. It would,
and it sucks because that's the game where like it's
Where you
kind of
lose.
a toss up where it's almost like you have no idea what's going to happen. You think like you couldn't even like really set lines on those games because you have no clue where your team's really at. You find out really quick. But the last thing we need is that whole in the city rivalry for that. But we'll
now. So there's a Knicks game 3 coming up in about an hour. You'll probably watch this at halftime. No one's gonna watch
it looks like Jimmy Butler's playing,
He's
which
playing.
we expected. It looks like the Knicks, Julius Randle should be playing, Brunson, both of which are banged up a little bit. But I think those 3 days, like we were talking about, is going to be beneficial. I mean, obviously for Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Obviously for Jimmy Butler. But no, the Knicks are pretty banged up, and they played a pretty physical game. Those 3 days are pretty significant for them also.
You know why?
Because they didn't, who knows what percentage you had Randle at in that game, or even Brunson at. They were talking about he's not going to play. That was a bunch of BS.
Yeah, no, they're both playing.
No, but I'm saying in the last
Brunson
game.
doesn't strike me as the
I'm
kind of
saying
guy.
they were questionable. They were questionable, game time decision, which we both know is whatever.
Well, like you
but we
said
have other
today
guys
about
too.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, but even so, you got Grimes and Quigley. Like guys are banged up, and give them a couple days. Also, some time to game plan versus Jimmy Butler, which you expect. And
But everybody says this NBA isn't, it's not physical. You don't need it. So why do they even need the time? It's a baby NBA compared to the Jordan NBA that he played in.
I think compared, maybe it is, but this is a physical series that we're seeing so far.
Yeah, this is good. This is like old school Knicks Heat with Allen Houston,
and
Chris
they're complaining
Childs.
a lot. Like if you watch the players, like Brunson was really complaining about getting banged inside the in the paint and not getting any calls and a lot of stuff that was going. And listen, as long as it's equal, I'm all for it.
What did he do inside the paint?
He was getting banged up. That's what he does.
So, Knicks, listen. The Knicks,
South Beach, Bob. South Beach. You don't know what's happened the last 3 days.
The Knicks don't have to win today, so don't get all bent out of shape if they lose today. I can see them losing this game. Jimmy Butler back. You know, the crowd. It's gonna be 40% Knicks fans because it's in anytime any New York team goes down there, it's 40% Knicks, New York fans. They hate us down there. It basically becomes New York. So we'll see. There should be some Knicks fans in the building. Just win one of these 2 games. That's all you have to do. Win one of these 2 games. Now, the Mets last night. The Mets got a big win last night. They still
want
can't
to talk
score.
about the Mets like a big win? The Mets are terrible.
The Mets are terrible, but they needed to get a win yesterday. They can't score. They've lost. They got swept by who they get swept by? Detroit Tigers. It was not the 84 Tigers either.
It was such a bad series.
So bad. It started with that. I mean, it started with Scherzer giving up the. I mean, you know what? I think it's fair to talk about. Maybe Scherzer's done, right?
Is it time to start worrying?
Is it fair to say that maybe he's done?
I don't think so. But you hear him talking. He's been talking about how the pitch clock and it's going to injuries, and he's laying on the excuses. He's really actually giving some excuses. I think he realizes
the only good game he's pitched was the one where he got caught cheating. And opening day he pitched all right, but he fell apart in the 6th. That's what pitchers do when they start, the downhill of their careers. They can't make it out of the 5th or the 6th inning.
Is there something going on with him, or is he?
I mean, listen. Look at last year in the playoffs. He gave up 8 runs in the first 2-3 innings.
No,
and in the Braves series he didn't pitch well.
They're hitting him hard.
They're hitting him hard.
His stuff just doesn't have the movement right now that it normally does. He obviously, the velocity's just not. Nobody's ever going to have the velocity you had when you were 30 years old.
No, but you got to learn how to pitch. Well, he knows how to pitch. Though.
He's made a career of it after, though, of keeping it. He still has some velocity. He's not throwing the ball 89 miles an hour, but.
I think it's fair.
Let me tell you, it's gonna be fair.
Fair to have this conversation.
When you start having another bad start and another bad start, and I can tell you right now, if you look back on his career, at a time where he's had 4 bad starts, it just hasn't happened.
No, and the Mets are going nowhere without him.
The guy's a Hall of Famer. The guy, I'll give him a little bit of time, more than anybody else. I'm gonna give him a little bit of time to say. He's done. I'm not going to say he's done. No, I don't think he's done. No, I know, but you're talking about as an everyday when you put him out there.
You can't count
he's
on
only going to give up 2 or 3 runs at the most. I think we're going to get that guy. I think right now I think things have been a little off.
They better because at the rate they're scoring, they've been shut out 6 times in 32 games, Brett.
Yeah.
Last year, shut out 8 times. They're hitting 241 as a team. These kids, Alvarez. You're going to bring up these kids now. Everybody's calling for the kids.
What did we lose? 9 out of 11?
They lost 9 out of 11.
The Braves only lost 10 games this year.
And we're only a couple games out.
Yeah. It's still. I'm sorry. It's not that. It's about eventually that's who you are.
The Braves are better. The Braves are better than the Mets.
That's fine. I'm not worried about who's better now. Right now, it's keep up. And find out who you are later. Later's going to be who's got injuries, whose younger guys are actually coming through, what guys did we move, trade deadlines. There's a lot that goes on into working your way into the playoffs and being good in those last few weeks. But right now, our team just does not look like a playoff-bound team.
No, they look terrible. I mean, look at the other day with Nimmo. What are you doing here?
Oh my God, what was that?
I mean, what are you doing? You're on first base, and Nimmo's a smart baseball player. That's what we talk to him. That's what we say about him. He's an old school. He hustles. He knows the game. He knows to make the right play. He knows where the ball's supposed to go.
That was one of the worst baseball plays you can ever make in a 2-run game.
Ever.
To steal.
And it was right after they blew the first game of the doubleheader in the late innings.
Did he think like they don't even care about me? I'm gonna go.
No, and the scary part is when he was asked about it in the locker room after, he wasn't like that. You know what? A brain fart. It was a terrible decision. I don't know what I was doing. I didn't know the situation. That's not what he said. He said, "Well, the pitcher had 155 to the plate, and at 155, I think I can make it 9 out of 10 times. But that's why you can't do it because of that 10th time."
That's
and this
horrible.
just happened to be the 10th time, and he got caught, and he's out. Now listen, Marte.
There's a 90% chance that I'm going to make the worst baseball play in history. Like that, I'm going to make 90% chance I'm going to make it, or I'm going to make the worst baseball play in history.
And then,
that's terrible.
And then Buck defended him. Listen, I don't want you defending him though on that because there's no defense for that. We all know that. Everybody that watches baseball, everybody's like, what the hell are you doing?
He's always going to have his players' backs. No matter what, he's going to come out there and spin it around as I should have, and I should have even told him this, or I should have put a total red light and whatever.
I mean, that Detroit.
I'm just saying he's always good, no matter what.
Listen, that
that's his
Detroit
old
series,
school.
that hopefully the Detroit series is rock bottom.
Well,
Because the Detroit series was everything we wanted. Okay,
What
we
did you take from Verlander's start?
Verlander showed.
What do you? Because I mean, listen. If you look back on it, it goes, oh, okay. You know, the Mets lost the game. He gives up 2 home runs early.
Yeah, I don't know what I took from Verlander.
But after that, he settled in.
Yeah, he did. He settled in with the 2 home runs. That you're right, he did. But that was so horrible to start because if he was coming off the doubleheader loss. Okay, the Tigers series was everything we wanted.
He knew how important his start.
The Mets weren't playing well, playing a bad team. A bad team. That's what the Tigers are, okay? They're playing a bad team. There's Scherzer, there's Verlander, both pitching in the same series. It was, okay, we've been waiting for it, now we'll be okay. Scherzer gets rocked, then Verlander comes out, gives up back-to-back home runs, and you're like, oh no,
Did you see the home run on the first one, though?
They all think that
It was
the next year's coming,
it was
the
a
next
sick
World Series,
curveball.
or it's gonna. And
Like one of the
it's
sickest
not.
curveballs you'll ever
I
see.
didn't notice that.
Very few guys.
And
does
Keith
it work
talks
out
about
to
it
be where
after.
You're the Roger
He's like,
Clemens, or you're the Randy Johnson.
Not even mad about
It
that
does
pitch.
not work
Great
out that
pitch.
way.
Well, that's what everybody says.
And it was like
Mad, he settled
no,
in.
but it was like it was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Like the ball was like
work out to even be
and the guy just
it
was like
Now listen,
good for him.
you know what I'd say about Verlander started say I don't know.
And
It wasn't terrible,
But this is like
it wasn't
it's an opening day for him too. And then you put him in his old stadium that he
pitched.
pitched for so many years. He's the reigning Cy Young Award winner. He had a lot of pressure on him. He lets up a couple runs early. It actually settled in, which you expect out of a veteran.
It was
Yeah,
Harvey
you
Day.
expect that. That's what you know. The guy, you have to realize, last year he put up one of the most
month or two
incredible
on the
years.
team.
2 years
He became
removed
the
from Tommy
Dark
Jones.
Knight. He got the nickname
He
right
honestly
that
may
first
be
season.
even better
He was
this
pitching
year.
well.
When it
But
comes
I
to
don't know
that,
if you can be better
not
than that.
better in
Give him a
terms of
nickname like the
numbers,
Dark Knight.
but in terms
Harvey
of
Day, the
strength
shirts,
and
everybody
his
waiting for
arm
Harvey to pitch.
strength
They don't
and
care anymore.
how
They-
he
you
feels.
know what it is?
Because you never know that
MLB
first
is
year how
realizing
He already.
never
It was like,
realized.
okay, we're gonna hold
It ain't
Verlander for a
ever
little bit, and a
coming.
month
The
later,
chances of it
here's
actually
Verlander.
working out
there was
where
like
it gets
it's
to
a
the
back
point where we
muscle
can
thing. It wasn't his
monetize off a
elbow, it wasn't his
t-shirt. We're not
shoulder, it
waiting
wasn't
anymore.
my arms
Yeah, but
hurt.
what
It was
I'm
it was
doing
my
today-
back, whatever. and
They're in the t-shirts yesterday.
It's two different
Randy
things.
That's what happens in these
Arozarena.
pitches. It's like,
Free
oh, he's
beers
gonna
and
miss a
it's a home
start.
run.
You
You'll
don't
get
see him for a
yellow
month and a half.
t-shirts. Randy
Of
Arozarena.
course. Come on.
Nobody
Yeah,
shows
that's
up
like
in
you're
Tampa
suspended for
Bay.
10 days,
The
and we
whole
haven't seen
section is
Scherzer in a
filled.
month.
Yeah, and listen, Yeah, Scherzer. nobody shows up in Tampa Bay. Listen, the
They
Mets
hit
go
the home run, they
nowhere
got
without
1
Scherzer and
year. They're
Verlander,
coming back
right?
for it next
Yes.
time.
The pitching is a disaster this
Well,
year.
so no,
So
well,
you look up and
people
you look back and you go, oh,
They
wait,
may not
Corey
even make the
Senga,
playoffs.
the Mets
You
are
don't know
winning
that, so they're
games.
hyping
Last
it
night
now. We're
only
not
gives
waiting
up
around
2
for
hits.
these guys.
He
These
pitches
new
his
guys
most,
who
which
are
was
good.
through
You don't
6.
know Juan Soto.
Yeah, he has to
The
take
next
like
guy-
9 days
let me
off
tell
in
you, you don't
between
even
starts.
know.
Like, how
San
how is
Diego
that
got
sustainable?
him. They're pumping those
He just
jerseys.
had
How
it
they
that
give them that every time? They want to give him 9 extra days between starts every start.
But there
Oh,
is
he
no
wants
more
to
waiting
adjust
around
to
these.
this
You're
and
right.
that.
But
The Bucks going to have to pay that piper down the road when it comes to, oh, we're going to keep resting guys, we're going to keep rotating in guys, we're going to keep, no, rest them, wait. If the postseason doesn't come, none of this makes any sense.
Harvey No, got he rests drugs and stuff like that. Where's Alvarez last time? Testifying in murder trials and stuff.
No,
Never
but
caught
he-
Singapore
I'm
points.
sorry,
You're gonna have to catch him,
we're
right?
going to have to cut Thomas Nito pretty soon.
Thomas Nito's like the pitcher hitting. First of all,
I'm sorry, like, 'cause eventually it was like, oh, we're all worried,
Their
but
legacies
what if it
are
affects Alvarez's hitting?
Yeah,
And
I
what?
mean, you think
I'm
so?
sorry,
Like,
at this point, if you hit
no,
over
it's Syndergaard
200,
and Harvey.
you are
I have a special
get
spot
him in the
my heart.
lineup.
Why you put him in the
Anytime
lineup?
instead of
Anything.
Nito.
He's a terrible hitter.
Nito should not be, should not even be when
Syndergaard was a jerk.
Navarez comes
Oh,
back.
Syndergaard was a jerk.
The Mets settle in there. I
Yeah,
don't know what you do with them.
You gotta get rid of him. DFA.
That's fine, but then when one catcher gets hurt, you're going to be looking around for a Thomas Nito.
You got a 20-year-old kid. Alvarez is
I understand, but you're always going to need another catcher. Our guys just he's not even off the injured list yet.
I mean, listen,
like that, I feel like
and the other
ridiculous.
trying to pitch an extra
And the
inning
other
for you.
kids Harvey's the club.
Are just tearing up the minor leagues. still.
I know, and listen, they're all coming. But let me tell you, these jobs are not secure for these guys up here.
You can't all kids.
Vogelbach. Yes, you can. You can have anybody who plays and hits your highest average at RBIs. I don't care who you are.
I don't think they're going to struggle when they come up.
I don't know. Then you send them back down, and you can have go back just like we talked about, and you can have a guy like Canna come up and hit 200 for you.
Now
They're professional hitters, so I like having a guy like Canna there. I like Vogelbach, not really a professional hitter.
Now, as bad as
They landed like right near us.
the Mets are, the Yankees are worse.
They're not that much worse.
That ball.
They look much
I tell
worse.
people, I said
The
the
Yankees
Yankees are in last place.
The Royals win the
you
World
remember-
Okay,
Series.
they're in
much I
danger
got for
this
those
weekend of
tickets? Do you
basically
remember that?
losing the division, right?
Yeah,
They're 10 games out. If they lose today and they lose tomorrow, they're 12 games out. They're not
It's a long time
making
ago
that
now,
up.
right?
They can't hit.
So
Judge
Bob
is
was
hurt.
coming up for something.
They can't
like his
pitch well. They
final
can't
CEO
catch, as
stuff,
last night is
for
evident.
Rikers.
They spot.
And,
They came
you know,
back.
You know what? Like last year,
before in the
we
7
started
line,
this show. We talked
won
about the
like a
Yankees
raffle or
and
whatever it
my
was.
prediction was
Face
this
value
team.
tickets.
This is the
They were
team
going
I
for
envisioned
$3,000
for
a piece
last
on
year.
StubHub.
I did not see
That was
Nestor
like the 9/11
Cortez
game,
come
too.
in.
We went to the 9/11 game.
Yeah, that's
Cole
true.
honestly
Yeah,
didn't even
StubHub
have
back then.
you know
No,
the
it
Cole
wasn't
year
about
where
it.
like
But
he's
Bob
obviously
didn't
having
even
a
know
pretty
about
good
it,
year
too,
right
and
now.
he
No, he's the
came
best
in, I was
pitcher in
like,
baseball.
oh, yeah,
I'm saying
by
like
the way,
that,
no, but I'm saying like
we're
this
going
is the
to
team I
World
envisioned
Series.
last year. I
Yeah, that
expect
worked out
Cole
well.
to be
Yeah.
lights out, not enough depth in the
I
pitching
still get
staff,
grief for that.
someone to
I
get
know.
injured
Going to that game.
where it's
Don't be
like
looking
you know
for
you're
crap
not
for
putting up
letting
quite
you
the
go.
and
I
last
know,
year
I
they
know.
just blew it out of the park.
It's not
And
Terry
now
Collins who's sending them
everything
out tonight.
seems
It's not
like
Matt
not
Harvey
enough.
for
And when
giving
the
up the
Rays
hits
start
and the
playing like
runs.
they
I only
are,
tell that
and you look
story
at the
just in
Orioles and
case,
even the
the
Red
Mets
Sox
ever
have
make
been
the World
playing
Series.
lights out baseball the last 10
The
days.
Rays. The
It's
Rays
going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough go.
The Rays are
Yeah,
19 and 2, I believe, at home. Listen, the Mets Okay. now
Did you
I
see
think, like,
Randy
we're financially
Rosarina's
securing
thing
somewhere.
last
We're gonna be
night?
going to the games.
Not
Last
last
night.
night.
Okay,
You have a baby
I-
coming in.
I-
So
3
Randy
weeks, I
Rosarina
know.
last
Good luck
night.
with that.
They
Enjoy the
have
next 3 weeks
Randy
of financial security.
Rosarina
I'll tell you what, I
section
didn't
in the
realize how
outfield where they go,
crazy
listen, anybody who
these
shows up, you
pregnancies
get the
are. I mean,
Randy
I
Rosarina
always thought,
T-shirt
okay,
for the
women
game, and he's
get-
in
okay,
left
I did
field.
see that, okay.
He's like, oh no. He goes, listen, if he hits a home
God,
run,
yo.
everybody gets a
My
free
wife's done a
beer
great job.
or a free water or a free
She's
soda.
in bed. She hits the home Now run. you got this
Crushes
baby. It's
the
a
first
full-size
inning home
baby.
run. He
Legs
comes out
coming
with the
of-
celebration
pushing out
doing
of her
this.
stomach.
It's not. It's
And he's
so
out, and he's
Oh, it's a
celebrating,
nightmare.
he's
She doesn't
partying.
sleep
Like I'm
today.
telling
She's
you, the
had the
guy,
worst pregnancy
that guy
possible.
is.
Now,
I
what
mean,
about the
it's easy
play?
when you win, but
the worst
that guy's
of it.
electric.
What about the play the shortstop made the other day?
I hate it.
They're not happy.
You hated
It's
it?
hated.
But like
We
we
hated
threw
it.
it up
We
in the
can't
air.
do
and
everything
can't-
about it.
Oh, I loved it. With 3 weeks out, Brett. 3
I
weeks
thought
out.
it would be
the exact opposite.
Super excited. I would hate it.
So I could
Really?
hate it. Me and my wife can actually go out.
Show
and
it.
if that guy
No,
gets
I
out,
want
he's
that guy to drop that
Well,
ball.
we
So
can't stop if he gets
bad. No, because you know why? It wasn't
Yeah,
even
we'll have a
anything
little-
fancy.
we'll put up a
It was
bassinet in the
just
corner.
I can toss a
So
ball
the
4
Knicks,
inches out of my
game
hand and catch
3,
it. It wasn't behind
coming
his
up,
back.
Brett, you
He
got
didn't
anything else?
dump it
No,
off
I
his
gotta
arm.
watch this game. We'll
He
do that
didn't
again.
roll
So,
it.
you didn't think it was
He
cool?
didn't-
That's pretty much it.
It
I'll
was-
talk to you guys tomorrow. For
Like,
the
showboating
wrap-up
show.
show.
Not impressive.
Spins,
We might
he
have some
throws it guests up, coming he up in the- catches it. big guests coming up in the next couple
was
weeks.
like
I'll let you guys know about that.
Like the cool
For
guy
Brett
does to
Grasso,
show he
I'm
can
Bob
spin a
Walters.
basketball,
We'll
but
talk
he
to you
doesn't
next
really
week,
know
everybody.
how to. And
On his finger and he catches it.
and he's at the gym. That's what it was. It was like, whoa, oh, hold on. Oh,
I liked it. I liked it. I think. Listen,
no.
next time you go up against the Pirates, watch out
the
because
runner hated it too. The runner hated it.
Oh, I'm
too.
sure. Listen, I'm sure everybody on the Pirates hated it. You have to hate it if somebody's doing that against you. It's kind of like, we got this, no problem.
Didn't like it.
And throws it. You didn't like it? I'm surprised you didn't like it. I thought I wouldn't like it and you would like it. It's the
No,
exact
I would
opposite.
like. I'd love that if you did that.
the softball.
Sunday softball. That's what you do.
Yeah, but isn't it cool? Like, that's why a little leaguer's going to do that because he did that and, like, running laps because of it.
Yeah. No, not in today's little league.
No, like today. Today, someone's doing that. Today, Saturday, Little League, around the country, somebody's doing that.
Yeah.
And the guy's going to drop it, and the runner's going to be safe, and
Yeah.
the kid's going to have to run laps. Right?
He's not running laps. You think he's running laps?
Does he not get
You
ice
can't
cream
single
then?
out a child.
Does he not get ice cream? Or does he not get a slice pizza?
No, you get extra ice cream to understand what you did wrong.
I didn't get extra ice cream. I still don't get
No,
extra ice
you
cream.
don't understand what it's like today. You're right. No, in our past, it would have been like, no, you're doing perimeters.
Now with the Yankees, the problem with the Yankees was like, this is a huge series. I'm sorry. Whatever you say, this is a huge, you can't be 12-13 back. Okay? There's a lot of playoff teams that make the playoffs now. So they still wouldn't be out of the playoffs, but you're not going to beat Tampa if you fall 12-13 back with the way they're playing. They've lost no games at home or 1 or 2 games at home.
Well, you're going to have to start catching fly balls in left field.
Well,
you're going to
that's
want
the
a good
problem.
baseball.
No,
game.
and don't spot the team 4 runs.
There's
The thing
a
was
good- yeah.
4-0. And it took Bader to hit a 3-run blast to tie it, and then they're dropping balls in left field.
That was rough.
I mean, listen, the
Mets and
Yankees are a mess.
The Mets and Yankees are both in trouble.
How disappointing
Which
is
one of
that?
these teams is not making the playoffs, or are they both missing?
Right now, I think the Mets have a better chance to straighten it out than the Yankees do.
Yeah, because right now this is the only problem with the Yankees right now. If Aaron Judge came back and was Aaron Judge,
Okay,
I don't think it's enough.
but he's not.
No,
when
just
you say
that.
Aaron Judge, what do you mean? Not last year,
45
Aaron Judge.
45 home
Okay.
runs.
No, it's not enough. It's not enough.
100 RBIs.
The pitching's got to be better. Their bullpen stinks. They don't
hitting
catch the ball.
300.
Yeah, no, because baseball's not that kind of
Awesome.
sport.
Like as good as you can get of a
Yeah.
player on your team.
No, it's not going to be.
I don't think that enough. Like you need like And I wish I haven't seen enough of the game, so I can't even analyze the pitchers or who's pitching well or who's not, outside of Cole or Cortez.
Was Judge worth the signing?
It depends on what do you mean?
Was it worth it? Should they have gone?
You can't
because now
after 4 weeks.
Well, you think it's gonna be better 8 years down the road? It's gonna be worse. He's already
the
hurt.
hip's not good. I have a hip. I have a bad hip.
He's already hurt.
The hip's not a good one.
He played. He's starting to look like he played my contract year. He doesn't get hurt. He has an amazing year. And then all of a sudden now he's back on the injured list. Okay, you could. The Yankee fans are calling.
I think losing Judge would have been really awful for the Yankees long term.
Then why are they
how they are and their legacy? I know that sounds stupid because you're like, win baseball games now, but I really believe that having Judge there, the ability of forming a team around Judge, no matter, listen, that guy will be able to crush 40 plus home runs for the next 7 or 8 years. I'm telling you. I'm not saying he's going to be running around the outfield. I don't see that happening. I don't think he's going to be, the guy's got wheels. He's not going to have wheels anymore. So he's going to be able to hit 300. You're going to get that. You have overpaid for a 340 home run hitter who's going to have 100. You're going to get that. I'm telling you.
Okay, but they didn't do anything else really.
He's going to have to back off from the fielding as much and from the. I'm telling you.
Here we are, a month into the season. Cashman had to come out and do a "calm down, everybody. Things are going to be okay" press conference. The Yankee fans are calling for Cashman's head. They want Boone fired.
Well, that's stuff. Honestly,
they got what they wanted, right? They got Judge.
If it wasn't for last year's unbelievable year, I think that stuff was coming. I think that stuff was the year before that should have happened.
Yeah, I agree. I think
it was the year before, and then last year is one of those kind of like a Daniel Jones year.
That's exactly what it was.
It was
that's
like,
exactly
the last thing you want is it to go pretty well.
Yeah, that's all I said all year.
It went just well enough.
Yeah.
And last year for the Yankees was, honestly, it looked like it was going to go all the way well, where they won the World Series and nobody cares at all, but it went so well in the regular season that the playoffs turned out to be such a letdown for them, even more so than it was for the Mets. The Yankees were, with that season.
The Mets were pretty bad. That was a pretty big letdown.
That's your personal feelings.
Okay.
Let's talk about in general how good the Yankees were and how their unbelievable run they had and that team that was unstoppable.
So good. They were the bad. We're talking about 98 Yankees.
So that's what kept these guys their jobs. Where I think they were on the edge. They kept their jobs, and now this is what you're getting. It's their last year. Boone's, you're going to find out if you're a good manager real quick by if this team makes the playoffs or not. If he takes this team to the playoffs based on what's going on, and not just on how good they are, but how good the rest of this division is.
No, you're wrong.
No,
Yankee fans don't put up with that. It's not about playoffs. You know Yankee fans. We both know
I'm not saying that he keeps his job. I'm saying you're going to. I'm going to give him his credit as a good manager. If he can, I'm not saying he's going to keep his job. I think he's probably gone. Anything outside of I think they're ready to move on in general. I think it has anything to do with it.
It has nothing to do with how good they are. I would take Cashman as the Mets general manager
2 years ago.
I would take Cashman as the Mets general manager 5 minutes after if the Yankees got rid of him. But it might just be time.
Old Steinbrenner wouldn't have put up with this.
No, he'd be fine.
Not when you had such good players. Like
spending all this money.
Such a good I mean.
Because the new Steinbrenners, it's not about the winning. It's not about championships or bust.
Give them a little credit. Last year, those guys, Cashman, in that front office, put together a team that honestly was even better than anybody else expected them to be. So
for 75 games,
you're right.
And then they nosedived in the second half. Remember, we sat here with Beningo on, and he was like, "Oh, forget these Yankees could win 110 games,"
I know.
And then they just nosedived. And then now this year, it just looks bad this year. I mean, it's the last place Yankees. As much as I love saying that, it just brings a smile to my face.
Listen, but 10 games back, big series.
Yeah, and what happened? They spotted 4 runs last night. They come back, they get a big home run to tie it, and then they can't catch the ball out in left field, and they lose the game.
All these games are going on today. We got big games all around. We got the Yankees, Mets 4 o'clock, Yankees 4 o'clock. What do we got? Knicks at 4 o'clock. We got Kentucky Derby coming on this afternoon.
Derby, we'll talk about that a little bit. They scratched the favorite.
I know I saw they scratched the favorite. I don't really have that much that's,
yeah, I don't either. I don't know
going on with that. I know who I got, who I'm
Here's
picking.
What I got. I got a graphic that goes up on the screen.
Listen, let's go. Let's just get right into it. Let's just get into it. We got 5 minutes. What do you got?
Yeah, I got to do something on the Rangers.
All right, then go for it.
So speaking of coaches, the job could be on the line. It's Gallant for the Rangers. Now, they no-showed Game 7. Okay, no-showed. That was completely. It was a disaster. They get shut out in Game 7. Okay, after a great Game 6, this is now 2 years in a row that they have been up 2-0 in a series. Lost the series. Last year they were up 2-0 in Game 3. They blew that series. Now the last year was okay because it was, it was okay because they weren't expected to be there. They made it to the conference final. It was kind of house money type thing. Now, do you blame the coach? He's got to take the blame. And he's sitting there at the press conference going, I can't believe you're asking me about my job. I'm not going to be fired. We have all these wins. We've done it. We only had one bad week. Well, you know what? You had the bad week. The 1 week you need to be good. Okay? The Rangers, he's 99, 46, and 19. Okay, conference finals last year. This year out in the first round when they were Stanley Cup, favorite. Let's be real, a favorite. They got a ton of free agents coming up. They got a ton of decisions they got to make. Kane is not. They can't afford Kane. Kane was no good.
Tarasenko he's going
disappeared.
Back to the Blackhawks, maybe, right?
I don't know where he's going to go. He's old. To be honest with you, I don't want Kane. I don't think he was very good. Tarasenko was a no-show for most of the time he was here. He's going to be gone. You got some of the kids now coming up. You got Lafreniere, who stinks. Okay, Lafreniere was okay in the first series. He stinks against the Devils this year. You got Keandre Miller. You got Tarasenko and Kane here. They're gone. Nico Mikkola, he's probably gone too because he's another. Those are like rentals. Those were rentals that the Rangers had. Lafreniere, Mott, and Keandre Miller. I want Miller back because he's kind of he's a physical force. He shakes things up on the ice when the Rangers need a big hit. He'll make the hit. Lafreniere's been a disappointment. Besides Fox and the goalie, really nobody did anything outrageous. Kreider too. Kreider was excellent. Kreider scored 1 million goals, 1 million power play goals. But as far as Gallant goes, I would not care if he. I
needed one more round. I really needed him to make it because I was just like, that's last year. At least you gave me a little bit of a shot to like know all the guys' names and know what's going on. By the time we started getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, I was like fully in.
But like you,
and I remember I was watching Game 6 and I was like, oh, I know exactly what's going on. I was like, I can't wait to watch some more Ranger hockey.
Zibanejad's another one.
And then you guys got me all buttered up in Game 6, and then I watched this Game 7.
Oh, it was just a disaster.
It was, you know what?
The Devils outplayed them. The Devils were faster. They were younger. They were better. The goalie came in and after the Rangers beat up that goalie.
What does that make Carolina the greatest team in the history of teams?
No, let's not be that. Carolina did what the Rangers have done the first 2 games. So let's wait and see.
All right.
Now I would like
to see
Devils
in the first 2 games.
The Devils went back to their normal games 1 and game 2.
This is how they do it.
They lost 5-1 in the first game. They lost 4-1 the other night.
Yeah.
And what we didn't see either is what Boston lost. How about that? To the Florida Panthers. The Panthers are now up 2-0 on the Leafs.
Did you see that game, though?
I watched the game. Game 7?
Did you see? Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it.
Coming back.
Oh, it was a great series. And it was one of the all-time upsets in sports.
I love to see that. That's like when the guy flips the ball and drops. I wanted to drop it. That's when you drop the ball.
That's what it was. That's what. Yeah, except it was Game 7.
They showed up to that game and they were like, you know what? We're just going to flip the ball.
I think they knew they were in trouble, and I have
they did. They realized pretty quickly. I think
my cousin is a big time Bruins fan, and he was like, he's devastated. He's like, this is gonna take me weeks to get over. It's weird. I mean, they lost 12 games. They were 43 points better than the Panthers. They lost 12 games all season.
I don't think Gunzel's too happy about
this. Gunzel's not happy. Absolutely not. And my cousin Jay is devastated. And this is with the Celtics. They still have the Celtics, who are clearly the best team in the East. So, a lot going on there. I also wanted to bring up Matt Harvey. Brett, me and you, we were in the building for
his best and worst day of his life.
Game 5, the night where, listen, that was peak Matt Harvey. The first 8 innings that game into the 9th was peak Matt Harvey. He pitched the hell out of that game. He was dominant. He wanted the ball. He told the manager no when he said he's done. Yep. He walked over and he said no. He took that ball, went out into the night. No, you can't say that, Brett. You were sitting there.
No, I know what I wanted. I know what happened. I'm just looking back in hindsight.
To be honest with you, it's amazing the downfall that he had. Because that night, if you told, even after they lost, if you told me that we'd be sitting here 8 years later talking about the career that he had and that being the moment the pinnacle moment, I would have never believed you.
Is this like Back to the Future? Like, what if that moment changed? Would everything have changed?
I don't know, because you know what? Because he got caught up in drugs, and what it was he was living the New York lifestyle of a superstar before he was a superstar.
But you would have been a real superstar. And sometimes with that, people like get that, like he was already like under the microscope.
Yeah. Well,
but let me tell you, if he wins that game, say the Mets go on to win the World Series.
okay, if he wins that game, the Mets win the World Series, yes, different.
What I know it's different just in general, because no matter what, then you could just show up. You could never pitch another game in New York.
You'll never buy a drink in New York.
And you're already like, we're talking about him now.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Well,
the outcome. Let's not forget the outcome. Can we want to talk about the outcome of that? Because you were talking about it like it was such a good idea.
No, but at the moment it wasn't good. At the moment, come on, Brett. He's coming out. Harvey, we need it. And he sprinted out to the mound.
Bob,
he jumped
me and you
over
had
the
this
line.
conversation like, oh my God, I can't even tell you. We were losing it.
And at that moment, you know what it was? It was the All-Star game. 2 years earlier, when he started the All-Star game at Citi Field, struck out the side.
That's not true at all. It's not true at all.
It wasn't at Citi Field?
No,
yes, it was.
It was at Citi Field.
He struck out the side, right?
That's not what happened. That's your mind remembering Dwight Gooden from 1980, whatever. What happened was the first ball was hit hard and caught. Second guy he struck out. Third ball hit hard. Should have been a single and caught.
Retired the side in order.
Yes.
In the All-Star game, okay?
Let me tell you, yeah.
It was our guy. It was a homegrown. It was Matt Harvey.
No,
it was the Dark Knight. The Mets were relevant again. The Mets were cool.
This is the Mets storybook ending.
Yeah, but that was the first time.
This is David Wright. Perfect. Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be perfect, Bob. The ending is the problem.
It was like the first time in a long time we had our own guy besides Wright. The Mets were cool because when Harvey's cooler than David Wright because he's a bad boy, right? He was out. He was dating all the models. He was sitting courtside at the Knicks game. David Wright was kind of sheltered. He was a little nerdy. Matt Harvey was cool. He was the cool guy. He made the Mets cool again for the first time in a long time, and then it was just right down after that game that we were at the World Series. Right out of
You pretty much just described like Matt Harvey was Doc Gooden.
No.
And David Wright was Gary Carter.
Yes. But
and I'm telling you, you're right. And let me tell you, like Matt Harvey was out being Doc Gooden. That was a problem.
No, he wasn't at the crack house during
You're
parades
right.
and stuff.
He was at the club out all night.
Yes.
Doing coke.
Yeah.
Drinking, going partying, which is, listen, I'll give you, that's what you do at that age when you have money, right? In New York City, that's what the guys do. But you know what? That's not what they do today. You know what they do today during the regular season? Trainers, drinking the right stuff, not going out and partying, acting normal. Off-season might be a little different. These guys don't act that way right now.
Now, here's why I don't think it's a fair comparison with Gooden and Strawberry and Harvey. First of all, Gooden and Strawberry achieved a whole lot more than Harvey ever did.
But that's if that inning went differently, the Mets win the World Series. I think it would be pretty close of the downfall of what could have been.
Harvey got there.
Because he is a what could have been.
He is a what could have been, and he got there.
He just never got there. He never fully. Yeah.
He never turned the corner. No. He got there, and then just as he reached the top, we watched it. We watched the moment where
they're coming back next year. It's one thing I've learned this, where they all think that the next year's coming, the next World Series, or it's gonna, and it's not. I'm telling you, for very few guys does it work out to be where you're the Roger Clemens or you're the Randy Johnson. It does not work out that way.
Yeah, but
even for the guys, the most hyped guys.
Yeah.
1 out of 10 of them work out to even be anything close, and even them barely even touch the World Series.
Now listen, his first week, his first month or two on the team, he became the Dark Knight. He got the nickname right in that first season, and he was pitching well, but that's a little quick to be given a nickname like the Dark Knight. Harvey Day, the shirts, everybody waiting for Harvey to pitch.
Because they don't care anymore. You know what it is? MLB has realized what we never realized.
Everybody waiting for Harvey to pitch.
Because they don't care anymore. You know what it is? MLB has realized what we never realized. It ain't ever coming. The chances of him actually working out where it gets to the point where we can monetize off a t-shirt, we're not waiting anymore. We're doing it today. They're in the T-shirts yesterday. Randy Rosarina, free beers if you hit a home run. You all get yellow T-shirts. Randy Rosarina. Nobody shows up in Tampa Bay. The whole section was filled.
Yeah, no, nobody shows up in Tampa Bay.
He hit the home run. They got the beers.
They're
coming back for it next time. Now it's hyped.
Yeah, but now
you know what I'm saying?
They have a good team now. People aren't showing up still.
They may not even make the playoffs. You don't know that, so they're hyping it now. We're not waiting around for these guys. These new guys who are good. You don't know Juan Soto, the next guy. Let me tell you, you don't even know. San Diego's got them. They're pumping those jerseys.
Yeah, but he was A-list. He was New York A-list.
I hear what you're saying, but there is no more waiting around for these guys. You're right, but the nicknames are coming instantly. Yeah, the guys are going to have to, like, you're right, you have to win to keep it. Because you'll lose it real quick. Look at another guy, his buddy, Noah Syndergaard, Thor.
Yeah, but Noah Syndergaard just wasn't any good. Harvey got drugs and stuff like that. He was on trial, testifying in murder trials and stuff like that.
But the same thing, it only lasts so long of that hype of, like, you can, like, let me tell you, Syndergaard's another one. If they win that game, those guys are different. Their legacies are different.
Yeah, I mean, you think so? Who? Syndergaard and Harvey? I have a special spot in my heart for Harvey as a Mets fan.
Of course.
Always. Partly because he got us there. He was bigger than Syndergaard. Syndergaard was a jerk.
Oh,
Let's be real. Syndergaard was a jerk. He didn't, he didn't want to come back to the Mets. He made it clear. And then when he did leave the Mets, he didn't want to pitch against the Mets. God forbid they hit him.
Yeah.
No.
Stick with the guy who does coke in the club versus the guy with the hyperbaric chamber in his apartment just trying not to die.
He got foot and mouth disease.
He's just trying to pitch an extra inning for you. Harvey's the club.
Harvey said
passed out in the corner.
Harvey.
That's the guy Bob wants in his corner.
Dan Worthing came and told him, and he goes, "You're done." He goes, "No way, no way." Walked past the pitching coach to the end of the dugout, found Terry Collins and goes, "I'm in. Give me the ball. I am there. I'm not coming out of this game."
Syndergaard's over at Cohen's Children's Hospital. saving children.
Getting foot and mouth disease.
Yeah.
And then he sprinted out to the mound, hopped over the line, and gave up a base hit, stolen base, double into left field, and the World Series was over.
Man, that homer.
And the World Series was over. So Lito, I mean, that's it.
It landed like right near us.
Yeah, well, we were out with the 7 line in center field.
We were at the 7 line, and that ball.
I tell people, I say I've seen the Royals win the World Series.
Oh man, do you know how much I could have got for those tickets? Do you remember that?
Yeah. I was living in Florida.
You didn't know it, but so Bob, it's a long time ago now, right?
Yeah, 7-8 years.
So Bob was coming up for something for like his final CO stuff for Rikers, and I had just scored the tickets the day before on the 7 line. Won like their raffle or whatever it was. Face value tickets, they were going for $3,000 a piece on StubHub.
Well, that was like the 9/11 game too. We went to the 9/11 game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they didn't even have StubHub back then.
No, it wasn't sold out either.
But Bob didn't even know about it too, and he came in. I was like, "Oh yeah, and by the way, we're going to the game. We're going to the World
Series."
Yeah, and that worked out well.
Yeah, I still get grief for that.
I know
for going to that game.
People gave me crap for letting you come.
I know.
I get crap for it.
It's not Terry Collins for sending them out in the 9th. It's not Matt Harvey for giving up the hits and the runs.
I only tell that story just in case the Mets ever make the World Series again and you have a ticket.
What? So I have to bring you?
I put this one in the bank.
Yeah, listen. If the Mets now I think like we're financially secure and stuff where we're going to be going to the games.
Financially secure. You have a baby coming in 3 weeks.
3 weeks. I know.
Good luck with that. Enjoy the next 3 weeks of financial security.
I'll tell you what. I didn't realize how crazy these pregnancies are. I mean, I always thought, okay, women, they're pregnant. It's uncomfortable. It's that. I mean,
no.
God, my wife's done a great job, but. She's in bed. She can't even. Now you got this baby. It's a full size baby. It's like legs coming out of, like pushing out of her stomach.
It's not. It's so uncomfortable.
Oh, it's a nightmare. She doesn't sleep for days. She's had the worst pregnancy possible.
At least she missed the midsummer stuff. She's gonna miss the worst of it because you don't want that in July, August. It's no good.
Yeah,
they're not
it's
happy.
miserable. It's miserable. But like we can't do anything. She can't.
You're almost there though.
Yeah, we're 3 weeks out, Brett. 3 weeks out. Can't wait.
Super excited.
You can babysit me and my wife can actually go out and have a drink or something.
Yeah,
somewhere.
No, bring the baby to the studio.
Well, are we gonna have Stella spot?
No, we'll have a separate baby spot. We'll have we'll put up a bassinet in the corner.
So the Knicks game 3 coming up, Brett. You got anything else?
No, I got to watch this game. Let's get this over with.
So that's pretty much it. I will talk to you guys tomorrow for the wrap up show. We might have some guests coming up big guests coming up in the next couple.